that have taken over, some of the new concepts that you'll be hearing every time, and being educationist. Now, you all start practicing calling yourself educationists, right? You are all would be educators right now. You are in that age where you are changing yourself, gearing up your tools, to face the challenges. And see, there are new challenges here, right? So how you are going to face those challenges, how you are going to gear up your tools to face those challenges, is my next aspect. All right, so there are two basically things that I'll be talking about today. One is how this COVID situation has affected our education sector, because we all belong to that education sector. That is how it is our priority. And the second thing is how we can gear up, how we can sharpen our tools to face that challenge. All right. Uh, if we want to begin with, I would like to begin with first the effect of it on the education. Let's see how it has impacted our education. First is it has had a severe impact on the higher education. All right. So higher education, why? Because education in general, and for that matter, higher education, could not escape this disruption and is severely hit by this coronavirus crisis. We know that this COVID-19 is highly infectious, hence it spreads very fast. All right. So in order to curtail its spread, Indian government, the central government and the state government have enforced lockdown. Initially, it was a partial lockdown, and gradually it became a complete lockdown, and with complete closure of all the academic institutions. Now, when the institutions are shut down, closed down, how difficult it is to hold the interest of all the students, to hold the interest of all those who are engaged into it, right? So it has the severe effect on this higher education. We see this campus life unlikely to return to normal very soon. All right. So, often I have calls from my students, and most of the time they say, ma'am, we are missing this campus life. Education, and for that matter, higher education, is all about going to campus, gelling out with your friends, meeting your friends, sharing your views, and going to canteen, and and that is education life. That is part of your life. That is what pulls you towards your school or your college or your university. But this campus life, it's very sad to say that it's very difficult for us to predict when we are going to go back to this campus life. All right. Especially because we know we have got a huge population, wherein we have very high student teacher ratio. All right. So it is very difficult to figure out how we can call the students back to college and school. Some countries where the population is very less, where there is a high level of development, they have been trying to do so. They have been calling the students, on a 50-50 basis. So maybe, but then it's possible there with only 25 or 30 students in a class. It's possible there. But remember, in our colleges and all, we have more than 80 or 90 students in one section. So I doubt campus life is going to come back to normal very soon. This coronavirus has posed a serious threat to institutions of higher learning in terms of adopting new strategies and means for their survival and growth. Yes. So this has given us a challenge to adopt the new strategies. All right. See, I remember it was around in the end of March that we were said that we would have to go for a, lockdown, and we would have to sit at home. And you won't imagine, I guess within 5 to 6 days, we had so many workshops. We had changed to this online platform, and people were talking about Zoom, and people were talking about Google Meet, and later on it came GeoMeet, and all the platforms were suddenly open, things which we had not heard of before, things we did not know Maybe we knew and we were not aware of it because we were not using it. We had never thought that I would have to make all the students sit in front of their computer, their laptops, and their mobile phones and getting their classes done. All right. So, this new strategy, and anybody who is able to adopt it is able to survive. Anybody who is not able to adopt it is going to perish. All right. So, this higher education especially, it is very difficult to hold back the students, and for holding back the students you have to adopt to this new strategy. We know that India has the third largest higher education system in the world. We follow only in China and USA in terms of higher education, in terms of higher institutions. All right. So if we are such a huge country, there are huge problems, there are huge challenges that we need to face, right? So gradually I'll be unfolding some of them, though a 45 minutes or 1 hour session may not be sufficient to go back to all the problems that we face. But yes, some of the problems, some of the challenges we are going to see today. So the entire objective of my presentation today, I have tried to divide it into two parts. One is COVID-19 pandemic, how it has affected the Indian higher education system. And based on that analysis, we'll be trying to suggest the way forward. We have challenges. Yes. Can we go forward? Should we have find new ways to survive? Yes, we have to. Right? So the next part of my presentation would be suggesting how we can go forward. So coming to some of the effects on education, there are some people who are very positive minded. They give some good arguments as to what is the benefits of this online education, and some not so, they point out the demerits. But see, every coin has two sides, right? We have to face that. If there is a system, it has got something good and something bad. So let's just discuss what they are. First is online teaching learning process has provided entry to many. It has given opportunity to many people who earlier did not, did not know such an education system existed, right? You may be anywhere in the part of the world, and you can take courses from the entire different part of the world from the confines of your home, sitting inside your room. You just have to have one mobile phone, one internet connection, and you are there with all the courses of the best of the universities of the world. After this lockdown started, our university has had a tie-up with the Coursera. All right, if you have heard of Coursera, it is an online, the MOOC courses, as you say. See, being in teaching profession, you need to know all such courses that exist, because very soon you are going to be teachers, you are going to join the jobs. All right. And joining the job is just the first part of it. The second part is keeping yourself updated, because as there are two professions who always needs to keep themselves updated, or else you are gone. One is the teacher and the other is the doctor. A teacher can never be satisfied with whatever they have studied in the past, because things are changing so fast. Technology is changing so fast. So you have to keep yourself ready, right? So these you need to know about such courses. They are Coursera courses, SWAM courses. All right, they are online portal platforms are there wherein the certificate courses are provided. They are provided from the best of the universities of the world. So this Coursera or MOOC courses, if you go there, there are around more than 4,200 certificate courses, some master's degree courses. You have universities around the world. You have universities from Illinois University or ISBM University of India. All right. So the best of the universities are there providing courses. All right. So this has made it possible. In our university, it was made mandatory that all the professors, all the teachers, teaching faculty will have to do three certificate courses from there. But apart from being it mandatory, you won't believe there are some teachers who have done 10 papers, 12 papers, 14 papers, because it's wonderful. We had never thought of, I had never thought that I would get a certificate from Illinois University just sitting at my home. All right, so there are some beautiful courses. You can study, philosophy, psychology. I personally did some of the papers from economics, and because I have some inclination on philosophy and psychology also, I did some courses there, and some, other courses like technical courses or communication papers. So wonderful papers are there. So this is one of the positive effects. Now people are learning online. New people who could not imagine that it was possible have started studying. All right. But the thing is India ready for this transformation in higher education? Yes. Now that is something we have to think about. The government of India, according to one of the survey of government of India, 55,000 villages are without mobile phone coverage. Can you imagine? 55,000 people are there out there. I mean, 55,000 villages. I'm not talking about the population. The villages are there with no phone connection, with no mobile coverage. How do you expect children from those villages to connect with you? How do you expect those people, the children of those homes, to learn, read and write, or higher education when there is no phone coverage in their villages? Right. So not only that, if we are talking about digital literacy, now see, this is one technical word, digital literacy. You have heard of literacy. Literacy basically means to read and write. But when you are talking about digital literacy, it means you are able to apply the technology. You're able to use that technology, right? So that is called digital literacy. And if we see the survey of government of India, hardly 10% of the population is digitally literate. All right. So 26% of the population has access to internet connectivity. Out of such a huge population, hardly below 30% people have internet connectivity. So if we are talking about the transformation, if you are talking about the new technology taking over higher education, the question lies, are we ready for that? Does our country have that infrastructure? All right. See, basically, so far, our government has been doing a lot, but still, even after 70 years of our independence, we have had Sarva Siksha Abhiyan, all right, we have had midday meals, and all these focuses on pushing the students to the school. Somehow, we have been able to drag the students to the school to lure them in terms of ki chalo school aa jao, midday meal milega. ऑल राइट, चलो स्कूल आ जाओ, तुमको बुक्स एंड कॉपीज मिलेगा, लैपटॉप मिलेगा, या फिर सम स्टेट्स हैव स्टार्टेड द लाडली योजना, साइकिल मिलेगा, चलो स्कूल आ जाओ, लड़की हो तो साइकिल मिलेगा. And in this way, somehow we have been able to drag the students to the school, and we were just succeeding in that. And now comes a new challenge, wherein we say नहीं स्कूल मत आओ, घर में बैठो और घर से बैठ के पढ़ाई करो. तो कैसे पढ़ाई करो? How do I study? Do I have electricity at home? Does my mother know how to operate a laptop or a mobile phone? Do I have mobile connectivity at home, internet connectivity? All these things are the new challenges. And until and unless government is able to answer these challenges, I don't think we are ready for this new challenge, right? So what is it creating? It is creating a digital divide in Indian society. See, a section of the people who's got everything, they have got the modern technology, and they can take advantage of this situation. No matter whatever happens, they are there at home with the laptop and the mobile and everything, and they are doing their studies, online studies. What about those people who do not have that? So don't you think we are having a digital divide? All right, divide means what? There are inequalities, right? You have seen several types of inequalities. You have seen inequalities between rich and poor. You have seen regional disparities. Regional disparities means, see, in India only, there are certain regions, certain areas, certain places which are, very rich. If you go to Noida, if you go to Delhi or Gurgaon, you will see an entirely different standard of living there. And come to interiors of Jharkhand, come to interiors of Orissa, or for that matter, interiors of West Bengal, how much of poverty is there? So this is regional disparity. Go to a village and go to a towns and cities, you will see the disparity. Now those disparities were already there. Now we are talking a different type of disparity, and that is digital disparity. Digital disparity means a section of people having digital literacy and all the infrastructure required, and the second section of the people who does not have this. All right. So now see, so far what has happened is this digital platform is only used for entertainment or commercial purposes, right? You have had this, we have had this computer and laptop and internet for so many years. You have been using it for Facebook, or maybe you have been watching YouTube videos, and so many people are there on Twitters and so many things. But then they are basically, you were connected to each other, or maybe you were using it for entertainment purpose, watching movies and downloading music and music videos, and connecting with your friends, chatting with your friends and all that. But they were never used for education purpose, right? So the stakeholders of higher education system need to be ready socially, economically, psychologically, culturally, and technically to be compatible with this sudden change. So far, intellectual ignition and interaction is concerned. So stakeholders, who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders are the people who are involved in the system. The students, the teachers, the parents, the school principals, the college management, the professors, the people who are formulating the guidelines, say the new economic policy that has come, the people who are formulating all those rules and regulation and those policies, they are the stakeholders. So the stakeholders, they have to be compatible. They have to first change themselves, adapt themselves to this change. Only then will this change be successful, right? Now, so far, we have been using this chalk and talk teaching model. Teacher goes to the classroom, a blackboard is there, or maybe a whiteboard is there, or some of the advanced school, the developed schools, where there's private schools, they had this educom. If any of you have seen this, I guess most of you must have seen this educom. This educom is there, all right, but then basically it remains the same thing. Teacher goes there, writes something on the board, and explain the students. And we are very comfortable with that method of teaching, I have interaction with the students. I can see the students, I can talk to them, and I'm teaching them. I can see their expression, whether they are understanding or not. So that has been our mode of education so far. And suddenly we are pushed into this new technology, wherein, see, I have been talking with you all so long. There are around 63 people in this group I can see, of course, including me. But I can't see any of you, right? I can't see the expression in your eyes. I can't see the expression on your face. So that is something you have to get adapted yourself to. That is something which you have to, which the mindset, the change in mindset is something very, very important. And see, being in teaching profession for so long, being used to a particular system of teaching and education, it is something difficult, and it is something we have to get used to. All right. So you see, households do not even have access to high speed internet or requisite devices. So as we have discussed, most of the people don't even have those internet services at home. I have just written one simple example here. All right, an example which is cited from what is happening right now. A 50-year-old farmer allegedly committed suicide subsequent to an argument with his daughter over his failure to buy her a smartphone to continue her school studies at a village in Sefahijalla. So, can you imagine the parents somewhere they are feeling that they are failing their children? If a father is not able to provide a smartphone, he thinks that, oh, I have not been able to give this to my children. All right, so that feeling is there with the parents. All right, that is there where parents feel, the guardians feel that I have not been able to do justice to my children. Oh, see, my look at my neighbors. They have all got their smartphones and they are continuing their studies. The daughter tells her father, all my friends have got a smartphone at home, and I am not able to continue my study just because I don't have a mobile phone. The parents feel somewhere very guilty, right? So this is what is happening. This is what one of the important effect on education we can see. All right. Not only that, the abrupt introduction and emphasis on digital learning will deepen the inequalities in the Indian education system and widen socio-economic polarization through this digital divide. So you see, I have been always stressing on this digital divide. So yes, this digital learning is going to deepen the inequalities amongst us. There will be, after I'll come to a concept which is called a new normal later on in my presentation, and see when this new normal takes place, it will be a new world where there are one section of the people who are digitally literate and digitally facilitated with everything, and one section who does not have this. So that is where the inequalities will come from. All right. See, this is something not which I am telling or Indian government is telling or you are talking about. This is something which the world organizations are talking about. So according to a study by UNESCO, UNESCO has cautioned a move towards remote web-based learning that will deepen inequalities not just in the poor nations but also in the richer ones. So what we need to do is develop inclusive learning solutions. So now that we know that, India after independence, as I have told you just now, was preparing itself for one mode of education, जहाँ पर सर्व शिक्षा अभियान करो, मिड डे मील करो, बच्चों को स्कूल लाओ, ठीक है, सबको या फिर लाडली योजना बोलिए, या फिर सीबीएसई बहुत सारे फैसिलिटीज देती है गर्ल चाइल्ड को. तो ये सब करके हम लोग एक प्रोसेस के लिए तैयार हुए थे. And now there is another process. There's another challenge. So until and unless we have an inclusive learning solution, inclusive means, see, only you are educated, I am educated, will not make the country educated. We have to see how that child living in that remote area can be educated, how we can reach that person, how we can make things easier to that person. And only when that thing is happening can we say that inclusive education is taking place, right? Now, some of the economic and social effects I would like to talk about. There are some economists and sociologists who say it is difficult to develop the interpersonal skill and build social capital. Interpersonal skill. Now, don't you think that is something very difficult to make online, right? We all have been a part of this education system. You are sitting in your classroom next to your friend. There's a small fight over the pen. There's a small fight over sharing of book. All right, the two girls chatting and giggling, two boys trying to not attend the class and trying to avoid the teacher. All right, there are so many things that happens in the classroom. People sharing their food, people sharing their tiffin, joyfully sharing their experience, what happened yesterday night, what food they had taken, and चाचा जी आए हैं, क्या गिफ्ट लाए हैं, तो दुर्गा पूजा में कैसे सेलिब्रेट करना है, बर्थडे क्या सेलिब्रेट करना है. All those things are not happening now, right? You have 50 or 60 students in your classroom, but then it's a one-way teaching. The teacher goes on talking. You don't know whether you are connected to that student. The students are not connected to each other. So how do you think that interpersonal skills are going to develop? All right. Now there are certain wounds. Somebody has talked about some of the good things of education, of this online thing. And what is it? It has said that social media has helped millions of people around the globe to connect with like-minded people. All right, now that is a positive side, definitely. So many like-minded people have come together. You go to the Facebook, you go to Twitter, you go to WhatsApp groups. चाचा जी लोगों का अलग ग्रुप बना है, चाची लोगों का अलग ग्रुप बना है, ठीक है, कजिन ब्रदर्स लोगों के साथ अलग ग्रुप बना है. तो ये सारे ग्रुप्स जो पहले पॉसिबल नहीं थे वो सारे अभी डेवलप हो रहे हैं. I have done my college from Kolkata, and it's been so many years. We were not connected because in our times, mobile, where of course, when I was in college, mobile was not there. So we lost touch with each other. Usually we used to write letters and all that, but then that takes place only to a certain extent. Though we had telephones, but then, landline, you change your house. So many things are there, and you eventually lose contact with your friends. But see, this Facebook has brought all of us together. All right, and we are connected with each other in the WhatsApp group. We wish each other on their birthday or maybe anniversary, and we share our concern. All right, there are some groups which are very, very this thing. All right, active. Somebody is in need, so they share their problems there. So these things are possible, which was not possible earlier. All right. So some people say that is boon to humanity that physical distances have shrunk to the size of screen of mobile phones. So that is one social effect. We can't deny that. Now it is just your cousin may be staying in London, and you want to connect with her, ask her what's going on there. Just drop a WhatsApp message, and within fraction of a second, you get reply from her. All right, which was not possible earlier, right? So this the physical distances have definitely decreased. All right, but there are again some people argue that online teaching cannot develop or improve social communication skill of the learners. Social communication skill, how to answer in the classroom, how to talk, how to debate, how to put your opinion forward. All right, say in a classroom, they may, when a teacher is talking, and I doubt rarely a teacher can talk in a free-flowing manner. She is invariably, disturbed by so many students. Teacher, ye kaise hoga? Teacher, I did not understand this. Teacher, she is disturbing me. All these things, they are part of your communication, and those develops the communication skills of the children. They develop the skills of the learners. It is very important for the learners to have those skills, but all those skills are missing in your online method, because the teachers are not connected. I mean, the students are not connected with each other, right? So coming to the economic effects, if I can talk about, the hardest hit area is the private education system. I do not know about the government education system, because maybe they are, having a protective cover over them. The government would not let down their teachers without salary or something. But the private education system, the economy of the private education system is really badly hit. All right. You have teachers unemployed, parents not able to pay the fees. You have heard so many times, there has been the debates between the arguments between the parent body and the school organization, and the cases have gone to the court, because the parents say that they are not able to pay the fees. The school are asking for entire fees, and the school, how will the school manage? How will the school run if they're not getting money from the from their parents, because they whatever, they are not aided, they are not helped by the government. So whatever they get from the students, they give it to the teachers. All right, so that is one thing. Now parents are saying that if my child is not going to the school, I will not pay the maintenance fee. But at the same time, schools do not take the maintenance fee or tuition fee or something like that and take into consideration to pay the fee, salary of the teachers. So it's a cycle, students are not paying fees, teachers are not getting salary, teachers not getting a salary, they are unemployed. So see, it's a cycle, right? It comes back from where it has started. You have heard so many news down there, this thing. If you see news, you will see teachers are taking up jobs like selling insurance policies, food items, etc. All right, the faculty recruitment to institutions of higher learning has slowed down, right? You won't imagine, we were just having a meeting with our dean. A new dean in our university has joined from Kolkata, and we were just having a discussion, we were having a meeting, and in between he was continuously disturbed by somebody. And he said that, this is a boy, he has done his higher education from Germany, and he has come back to India, and he is looking for an opportunity to work in a college. So you can't imagine what is the scenario right there. All right, people who have spent so much of their money, so much of their resources, so many years of their life to gather this higher education, and suddenly they find there is no job opportunity, there is no opening for them. The schools are trying to manage with as few teachers as possible, and because the schools cannot be blamed, they are not funded by government. The schools are unemployed, the teachers are unemployed. If teachers are unemployed, they on the other hand can't pay tuition fees for their children. So it's a cycle, it's a cycle that goes this thing. All right, so there was a news which I felt I would like to share with you all. Vegetable seller with PhD degree. All right, so those are the things that are very heartening. The PhD degree, happens to be the highest degree. You spend almost more than 5 to 7 years only for this PhD degree, and then you end up being a vegetable seller. All right, so all said and done, what is the most important area of concern is the last part of it, that is probability of human educators being replaced by artificial intelligence technologies in the coming decade. Now this is something which is really very, very, I wouldn't use the word frightening, but in an overpopulated country like ours, it definitely is frightening. All right, see, with uh, when the schools are trying to cut down on their expenses, very soon, say these Byju's or all these platform that is using they have so many students and all that. Do you think they have teachers, one-to-one teacher, and for the students? It is many a times, the recorded videos that they go on playing again and again. All right, and maybe a day will come when robots will take over teaching, robots will do the classroom teaching, and artificial intelligence will take place of the educators. So that may be possible, because the way we are changing towards I'll tell you a very common experience of mine. Even 2 to 3 years back, when we had this discussion that in certain area, in countries, countries like China or Japan, the robots are doing classroom teaching. All right, it is not something new, we had heard that. All right, but we always used to say, how is it that possible in India? We have so much of population in India. Most of the people living in villages, they don't even understand technology. They don't even have mobile phones. Forget it. We are not going to have it in India. Not sooner, at least. Not sooner, because with this population, it's not possible. And see, today we are there teaching on the mobile phones. We are there teaching on the laptops. So who knows that very soon I'll be replaced by a robot teaching, delivering one lecture. Maybe my lecture will be recorded and it will be played again and again. So that is one thing, that artificial intelligence technologies would take over the place of humans. All right. Uh, Now, when we are talking about social impact, one thing is very important is to inculcate the habit or practice of art of thinking and art of imagination. Now, this technology somewhere is, I guess, killing that art of imagination. Now, see, all of you are there. We are right now 61 people in the group, all right? And not a single person has asked any question, because it's just a one-way traffic, because I'm supposed to talk and I go on talking. Nobody raises a question. But if it would have been in a normal scenario, like say last year also I delivered this, and it wasn't a virtual talk, of course. We went to the college, we interacted with the student, and it's a one-to-one interaction. As I speak, maybe within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, after one slide, a student would come up with some doubt or some interesting fact. The teacher, as you say this, I want to share this experience of mine, and something like that. And that is what is missing. We are killing the imagination of the students. We are just spoon feeding them. Whatever I am saying, you just sit there, you listen to it, right? So some of the students, not all students are very serious. Some students are taking advantage of the recess due to this COVID lockdown. Now that is also there. You will see many students, many parents are complaining us that a teacher, our students are not at our wards. My son is not at all serious. Whenever I give him a mobile, he is connected to through Facebook, or he's doing chatting and things like that. I'm very concerned. I don't know what to do. Now, that is something that depends on the students, how he is taking this situation. All right. Now, why this communication is important? Because good communication inspire young minds. You need communication. You need to think. You need imagination. You need to talk. You need to express yourself. Because until and unless you express yourself, your mind is not going to change. You must have read the book by Amartya Sen called Argumentative Indian. It's a classic book. If you get time, definitely you go through it. Indians are basically argumentative. You take one topic and you will find five people arguing about that. Be it anything, be it about politics, be it about caste or religion, or about the education system. We love to argue with each other, and that is something very normal, and that is something which should happen, because then you are expressing yourself, you're expressing your views. But this new technology has tried to kill that. All right. So that is one negative aspect, you can say, of this technology, and that is we are killing this young minds. All right. There is also a lack of discipline and ritual in online education. I have had classes where students have joined and they have muted themselves, and I don't know if they are in the class or not. I don't know if they are going, having their lunch, or maybe their dinner, or maybe they are reading books or watching TV, or I don't know whether they are connected or not. So that discipline, who is there to monitor that discipline? Because it's not possible for the parents to sit and monitor your children all the time. All right. So it is this online or the virtual education has that important aspect, and that is there is lack of discipline. Further, long-time online teaching can have a negative impact on students' mental and physical health. Now, that is also very important. You can't expect a child to be on the screen for more than 3-4 hours, and because that causes a very bad impact on the health. And you see so many children coming up with eye problems and mental fatigue, tiredness, all right, because they are watching the same thing again and again, and that is what is the problem. All right. So we have discussed more or less all the problems that this COVID-19 situation has caused. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what has this COVID-19 brought about. Now, this has pushed us to a new normal. As you can see, it's made up of two words, new and normal. Why new? New because this is something we had not seen earlier. And why normal? Because this is something we are going to see in future. This is something we have to be used to. You can't expect that things are going to change back to what it was maybe 1 year back. What it was in 2019 is definitely not going to happen in 2021. We are going to see many things that have changed, and we have to accept that. We have to accept that as the new normal. All right. So this concept of new normal, uh, different people have defined it in different way. The new normal probably means slower economic growth. Some say that it is labor and talent will be in scarce resources. Some say it will be a single-minded focus on productivity, just productivity. Somebody saying that only production, we are not going to see anything else. It also means chronic government deficit and cuts in services. Yes, we are seeing that. Unemployment, even government is cutting down its expenses. It's about worries about how to pay for past promises. You have purchased a house, you have purchased a car, you are paying your EMI, and suddenly you have a job loss. If not job loss, you are on a 50% salary. So you don't know how to fulfill your promises. You don't know how to pay for those promises which you have done in past. Disruptive events, innovations, more frequent. So you see, more frequently, we have new things coming up. All right. We have had Google Meet, we have had Zoom, and we have got GeoMeet. I don't know if this GeoMeet existed 2 years back or not, but if you have been using this GeoMeet, it has exactly the same features as the Zoom. All right. So that is innovation. People are coming up with new things. And see, with Prime Minister focusing on, we are seeing more on made in India. So if it has to be made in India, it has to be innovation. You have to think something new. You have to add something new, right? And so what is this new normal? The new normal means a whole new set of opportunities. Opportunities, new gateways of things that you can do in the future. How will the new normal look at workplace? I guess it will look something like this. All right. With fewer people working there, with social distancing, being a mask and all a part of your lifestyle. So I guess this will be the new normal at your workplace. What will be the new normal at the shopping malls and at the places where you go often? I guess something like this, all right, wherein you are away from each other. You don't, barge onto the other person, and you try to maintain a distance. What would be the new normal in the school? Well, I guess something like this, all right. Things will be something we have had in the past. Books and copies will be there, maybe, or maybe the prayer services, of course, will be there. Everything will be there. But see, the mask has come into our life. See, the students are far apart. Most of them are not carrying books and copies. So maybe they are having their laptops or things like that. So that will be how our schools in future will look. And that is normal. That is what you will be expecting. All right. So now that you have heard this new normal, why did I talk about this new normal? Because this new normal is something which you are hearing every time. From here, I would give the solution. All right. We would like to see the solution. And this solution, as they call it in the corporate world, is called VUCA. All right, you will be, if you are into some of you may be into the research world, somebody may be reading lots of books and newspapers and all that. Somewhere very soon you are going to hear this word again and again, and it's called a VUCA. What is this VUCA? VUCA is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. What does volatility, V for volatile? Volatile means what? I've tried to give you the definition. Likely to change suddenly and unexpectedly. Suddenly, if something changes, you say, oh my God, her behavior is so volatile. Means suddenly she got angry. She was laughing, talking. All right. And maybe, I don't know, some of your friends, something made a personal remark or something. And she got so hyper. She got lost her anger. So you say, oh my God, her behavior is so volatile. So what does volatile mean? How can I use it in this word? How can I use this word? Food and essential supplies have been in volatile state of availability since lockdown. Volatile means something which is unexpected. You go to you go to market and you don't find things there because there is no supply, and suddenly there's supply and you find it one fine day. All right, so that is very volatile. All right, you I remember in the month of March
Hello, ma'am. You are not audible. Hello, ma'am. You are not audible.
hello, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
got
Ma'am.
disconnected, I guess.
Yes, ma'am. You are disconnected now.
Okay, okay. All right, just a second. All right, can you see now?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. We come to the second alphabet, that is U, VUCA. You remember VUCA. V was volatile. U is for uncertain. Uncertain means not fixed, not known. You don't know what is happening. For example, he was uncertain whether to wear a mask or not. So uncertain means you're not sure. आपको पता नहीं करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए. And that is what is in our life today. Should I wear the mask? Oh no, should oh my, I forgot to carry the sanitizer in my bag. Should I have brought it, or will I go get it there? Should I get into that shop? There, it is so much crowded. Should I continue this course? Should I apply for a new job? It is uncertain. Things are not certain today. All right. So what does the old school wisdom say? What does our parent and grandparents say? They say counteract uncertainty with certainty. ठीक है, अनसर्टेनिटी है, कोई बात नहीं, लाइफ में सर्टेन बनो, श्योर बनो. बट व्हाट डज न्यू नॉर्मल से? व्हाट डज पोस्ट COVID-19 न्यू थिंकिंग? यू ऑल आर न्यू जनरेशन. what should be your solution to this? Embrace the uncertainty and find what could be possible in this new normal. Embrace means gale se lagana. So you have to accept this uncertainty in your life. You can't think that things are going to be certain. No, this uncertainty will be there. So what you have to do? You have to find a new solution. You forgot to wear a mask? Find a new solution. I'm giving a very simple example. You forgot to wear your mask. You are uncertain what to do. Find a new solution. All right. If you are a girl, if you are a dupatta, or you are wearing a sari, or if you have a handkerchief, if you're a boy, you're carrying a handkerchief, make that into a mask. All right. So a very simple thing, like if you are uncertain, all right, you have to adapt to that. You have to find a solution. All right. Next is VUCA. C means, C stands for complex. Complex means difficult to understand. Something which is very difficult, you can't understand. All right. Let's say, for example, we live in a complex network of information and data. All right. You open the news channel, and 5 news channel, if you're here, they will say all showing graph and data. इतने कोविड अफेक्टेड हुए, इतने परसेंटेज मारे गए, इतने परसेंटेज ठीक हो गए, ये ग्राफ इधर जा रहा है, ये ग्राफ फ्लैटन हो रहा है, वो कर्व फ्लैटन नहीं हो रहा है. So many complexities in this world. What does this old school wisdom say? The old school, our parents, grandparents, they say counteract complexity with simplicity. Life को simple बनाओ. Everybody's, I'm sure all of us who are present here, our parents must be saying simple रहो, उतना complex मत बनो, simple सोचो, simple खाओ पियो, simplicity लाओ life में. That is what we are always told about, right? Now what will you tell your children? What will you tell your students? Because you are all post COVID-19 new thinking people. What should you say? You will say, get creative. Look to new ways of dealing with complexity. Don't look for simplicity in life. Life is not simple. Nothing is simple in life. So you have to deal with this complexity. You have to understand this complex data. You have to be creative. You have to look to new ways of dealing with this complexity. This is new normal. This is part of our life. Don't get away with it. So you, as a new generation, as post-COVID-19 new thinking people, you will tell your students that be creative. Life is complex. Change your thinking. Get to new thinking, right? And the last one, VUCA, VUCA. Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. Ambiguous means dual meaning, do meaning. Like having more than one possible meaning. All right. Your teacher comes into the class and sees that you are, chatting with your friends. And the teacher says, oh, आज पढ़ाई लेके discussion कर रहे हैं. Now teacher is saying some पढ़ाई लेके discussion कर रहे हैं, but you know very well that teacher does not mean that. All right. So he is making fun of yours or something like that. Okay. So ambiguous. All right, when a person says something, but he actually means something else, right? For example, the minister's response to that question was ambiguous. The ministers are very good in doing that, right? They are very diplomatic. You ask them a question and they will give some other answer, and you will keep on wondering what that minister told you, right? What was the old school wisdom? What did our parents and grandparents tell us? Counteract ambiguity with clarity. क्लियर कट रखो, लाइफ सिंपल रखो, साफ सुथरा रखो, साफ साफ बात करो, जो मन में है वो बोलो, घुमा फिरा के बात मत करो, क्लैरिटी रखो लाइफ में. And what are you new generation people going to say? Think differently, act differently. If things are ambiguous, if you think that there is no meaning to that, or there is a dual meaning to that, what you have to do is you have to think differently and you have to act differently. All right. So we come to the end of it and we come to a better normal situation. All right. The current situation is tragic, heartbreaking, and filled with anxiety and fear. We can't deny that. There is fear, there is anxiety. क्या होगा? Uncertainty है life में, volatility है. अचानक पता चला कि 2 घर बाद में एक कोरोना पॉजिटिव है. हाँ, और एंजाइटी हुआ, फियर हुआ, कहाँ से जाएंगे? बाप रे, हम लोग 2 घर बाद में रहते हैं. All right, it is tragic. Somebody losing life, some tragic situation, somebody losing job, somebody committing suicide. So many things we are coming. And that is what this 4 words that I have told you: volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. That is what is happening around, right? But what will this new normal look like? What will you, the new generation people, do? There are thin silver linings there if you look for them. This pandemic has given us a whole new world. It has given us a whole new situation. Just imagine if the scientists are not positive, if they are not going to work on it, do you think we are going to get a medicine? No. So the scientists are positive. They are fighting. They are trying to get a new solution to this. All right. Anybody, we say the frontline warriors, yes, they are positive. They think the situation is difficult. No wonder. But you have to find a solution to that. So as an educationist, as future generation educationists, as future generation teachers, it is your duty to understand that this new normal situation is here to stay. It's not going to go so soon, because in fact, as I told you, it is a part of our life. It is a normal thing. Now this is what you have to accept. इसको accept कर लेना पड़ेगा, इसको embrace करना पड़ेगा, और हमारा thinking में change लाना पड़ेगा. We have to think differently. We have to act differently. All right. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation. All right. Thank you, all of you. Yes, any of you would like to share anything, would like to say anything to me? Yes. I hope I have been able to justify the topic that I had taken today. I was dealing with 2 things. One is how this pandemic has affected our education system, our society, and how, as a new generation, we should find solution out of it. All right. So, anybody would like to ask anything there? Is Father still with us? Father? Yes, Sunil, please.
Yes, ma'am. As you said, many 50,000 villages and the remote areas. And my question is that many parents cannot afford the smartphone. So how they will learn?
Yes, yes, thank you, Sunil. It is really a thing of concern. All right. Now, as I have been telling you, you all so many times about this, how the government has had policies, say the midday meal, or say, for example, Beti Padhao Yojana, something like that. So with that, I guess we have to have some solutions there. The government has to come forward. See, इनोवेटिव, हम लोग इतना डिस्कस किए हैं ना कि इनोवेशन कैसे। आपने अगर कुछ दिन पहले न्यूज में देखा होगा, आई डोंट नो इफ आई सॉ इट इन फेसबुक और व्हाट्सएप, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर, झारखंड में कुछ एरियाज में टीचर्स क्या कर रहे हैं, वो लोग गांव गांव में जा रहे हैं और घरों के दीवारों को ब्लैक बोर्ड जैसे पढ़ा बनाया गया है। और वहां जाके सारे बच्चे अपने घर के आंगन में बैठे हैं और लाइन से बहुत सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग बना के बैठे हुए हैं, और टीचर वहां जाके पढ़ा रहे हैं। आई डोंट रिमेम्बर विच एरिया इट वाज, बट रिसेंटली इट हैड कम कि वहां पर लाउड स्पीकर लगाया गया है और टीचर हर रोज लाउड स्पीकर से पढ़ाते हैं, और बच्चे जो है आसपास अपने घर के चबूतरे में या घर पे बैठते हैं और वहां से वो क्लासेस अटेंड करते हैं। तो हर घर में मोबाइल पहुंचाना तो शायद हमारे बस में नहीं है, इतनी जल्दी हम नहीं कर सकते हैं। बट यस, आप लोगों के हाथ में है, आप लोग एजुकेशनिस्ट हैं, आप लोग फ्यूचर जनरेशन है, एंड दैट इज व्हाट आई हैव ट्राइड टू टॉक अबाउट दिस वूका थिंग, कि आपको इनोवेशन करना है, आपको नए तरीके सोचना है कि ठीक है, हम लोग झारखंडी है, हम लोग गरीब है, हमारी स्टेट गरीब है, गवर्नमेंट बहुत कुछ नहीं कर पा रही है, लेट अस कम एंड फाइंड सम सॉल्यूशंस। कुछ तरीका तो होगा जिससे हम बच्चों तक पहुंच सके, कुछ तरीका तो होगा जहां से हम लोग बच्चों तक कनेक्ट कर सके। I would like to add one thing here. I have an NGO called Nishchay. All right. I don't know if you have heard of or not, Nishchay Foundation बोल के। और अभी जो हमारे शहीद हुए हैं, वीर शहीद गणेश हांसदा, जो चाइना बॉर्डर में शहीद हुए हैं, तो उनके नाम पे हमने एक स्कॉलरशिप शुरू किया है। ठीक है। और उनके ही गांव में अगर आप अच्छा काम करो तो लोग जुड़ने लगते हैं। वहां पर एक ग्राम पंचायत ने हमें एक छोटा सा रूम दिया है, और वो छोटे से रूम में हमने एक ब्लैक बोर्ड लगाया है, एक लाइब्रेरी बनाया है, और हमने कोशिश किया, क्योंकि हमारे पास, हम एक छोटे एनजीओ है, हमारे पास रिसोर्सेज बहुत कम है, हमने 5-6 बच्चों को अडॉप्ट किया है, और उनको कोशिश कर रहे हैं हम लोग कि हर रोज नहीं तो शायद हफ्ता में 1 दिन भी हो या 2 दिन हो, तो हम लोग किस तरह उनको बुक्स पहुंचा सके, या फिर हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि अगर 2 या 3 भी मोबाइल हम लोग दे सके, कि एक मोबाइल भी दे सके कि बच्चे इन टर्न तुम लोग इससे पढ़ाई करो। सो प्रॉब्लम्स है, चैलेंजेस है, बट यस, वी हैव टू फाइट दोस चैलेंजेस। ऑलराइट, सो दैट इज व्हाट दिस पोस्ट कोविड-19 थिंकिंग। यस सुनील।
वहाँ से पढ़ाने को जाते हैं के बताते हैं कि तक रहूंगा, ये बता।
सुनील, आपका थोड़ा वॉइस कट कट के आ रहा है, पर हाँ, ऑडियो थोड़ा कट के आ रहा है।
मोहल्ला क्लास जो लोग जाते हैं,
हाँ
वहाँ
हाँ हाँ।
1 से 10 तक के बच्चे रहते हैं, तो एक टीचर कैसे 1 से 10 तक के स्टूडेंट को पढ़ाएंगे? ये तो बहुत बड़ा समस्या है। गांव जाते हैं वो लोग पढ़ाने के लिए।
अग्रीड, टोटली अग्रीड। और 2008 में हमारे झारखंड में लास्ट टाइम कॉलेजेस में रिक्रूटमेंट हुआ है, उसके बाद कॉलेजेस में रिक्रूटमेंट नहीं हुआ है। आप अगर जाएंगे, हम चाईबासा यूनिवर्सिटी हम जाते रहते हैं, वहां पर 4-4, 5-5 क्लास बैठे हुए हैं, और हर एक क्लास में नहीं होने से भी 60 से 70 बच्चे हैं, और शायद एक ही इकोनॉमिक्स टीचर है। ऑलराइट, और वो भी इकोनॉमिक्स टीचर है जो पोस्ट रिटायरमेंट, उनको 2 साल या 4 साल का एक्सटेंशन मिला हुआ है। सर को शायद वहां तक पहुंचते पहुंचते क्लास भी ओवर हो जाएगा। Alright, so it is very difficult, and that's such a huge challenge, that student teacher ratio हमारे गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में बहुत बहुत खराब है। Alright, so that is because new recruitment नहीं हो रहे हैं, जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं है, या फिर शायद वैकेंसीज नहीं पहुंच रही है। So that is a huge challenge that Jharkhand is facing. But see, we cannot see the challenges of what others are doing. What I can do is, अगर हमको कहीं पर job मिला है, what I can do is I can do justice to that. हाँ, गवर्नमेंट क्या करेगी, वहां पर 10 बच्चों को, लेकिन एटलीस्ट मेरे को अगर जॉब मिलता है, आई विल ट्राई टू डू जस्टिस टू दैट, एंड दैट इज व्हाट एज अ प्रोफेसर, एज बीइंग एन एजुकेटेड फॉर सो मेनी इयर्स, आई कैन सजेस्ट टू द टीचर्स कि हमें जो काम मिले कम से कम हम वो करें। गवर्नमेंट क्या करेंगे, गवर्नमेंट क्या नहीं कर रहे हैं, वो हमारे हाथ में नहीं है। आई कंप्लीटली अग्री, आप एकदम सही बोल रहे हैं कि बच्चे हर स्तर के होते हैं, हर लेवल के होते हैं, और एक ही टीचर से एक्सपेक्ट किया जाता है कि वो हिस्ट्री भी पढ़ाए, और सोशल स्टडीज भी पढ़ाए, और साइंस भी पढ़ाए, और मैथ्स भी पढ़ाए, और हर एक लेवल के बच्चों को पढ़ाए। सो इट इज अ ह्यूज चैलेंज देयर, डेफिनेटली।
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
थैंक यू सुनील। या
Good afternoon, ma'am.
गुड आफ्टरनून लिपिका।
Ma'am, my question is, as the infant of 2020, when they will develop and will be in the process of education, what does the educationist will have to adapt for an integral education for those students who doesn't have any idea of the past life, and where the head of the topic will be artificial intelligence? So
Yes,
what topics and what process the educationals should imbibe in them for an integral education?
see, if you are talking about the young children who have just started their education life, all right. Now this is where जो हम डिजिटल डिवाइड की बात कर रहे थे, यहाँ पर ये डिजिटल डिवाइड, डिजिटल इनइक्वालिटीज आना शुरू करेंगे, राइट। द सेट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स जो जिनके पेरेंट्स पढ़े लिखे हैं, मम्मी इज सिटिंग बिसाइड द चाइल्ड, वो मोबाइल स्टार्ट कर दी है और बच्चे पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं, ऑलराइट। तो मे बी दैट चाइल्ड विल लर्न A to Z and 1 to 100 और समथिंग लाइक दैट। लेकिन हमारे देश में ऐसे बहुत सारे बच्चे हैं जिनके घर में मोबाइल अगर हो भी तो शायद उनके मम्मी कोऑपरेट ना करने आए, ठीक है। तो यहाँ तो एक तो डिमेरिट हमारा ये होगा कि ये डिजिटल डिवाइड शुरू करेगा। Now the thing is how to bring education to this young generation, how to see, I think technology will not be very effective. See, now that may be because I belong to that old thinking process, because children are of such a tender age. It is not only about teaching them ABCD and 1 2 3 4, it is also to teach them how to sit in a classroom, how to the table manners, the toilet manners, जो अच्छे छोटे बच्चों को सिखाया जाता है। किस तरह आप अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ पेंसिल शेयर करते हो, आप अपना बुक शेयर करते हो, ऑलराइट। किस तरह आपको स्ट्रेट खड़ा रहना है, किस तरह आपको ग्राउंड में जाके प्रेयर्स बोलने हैं, what is the time to have your tiffin, so all those things. So that will be possible, but then see, with the we have to have some outdoor activities also, ठीक है। online education can be possible only to a certain extent, even in higher education. Let's talk about higher education. आप एक डॉक्टर को, आप एक डॉक्टर का आप कैसे एक्सपेक्ट करती हैं कि वो कोई जस्ट लैपटॉप देख के वो एक्सपेरिमेंट करेगा। एक केमिस्ट को लैब में पहुंचना ही है, एक फिजिसिस्ट को लैब में जाना ही है, राइट। सो देयर आर some things which practical तो होना ही है, but some part of it can be online. So maybe in future a time will be there, a new normal, wherein you will have a combination of both. The online process will not completely replace the offline process. वो कभी भी possible नहीं है और होना भी नहीं चाहिए, ठीक है। So it will be a combination of online as well as offline education. All right. I hope
Yes.
I'm clear, Lipika. Yes, बोलिए।
Ma'am, often I used to think about this, that like in present generation, when we used to teach the kids, like SAT SAT means we have to sit. We used to show them with signs, with sign symbols. We used to even perform that act. So now how it will be? So basically, both the parents have to be educated, have a keen knowledge
Yes.
to update their phone. So it's really, I feel tough for the process of education in
Yes,
this.
that is what. See, if you remember, I have talked about that all the stakeholders will have to adapt. ठीक है, सिर्फ टीचर चेंज करने से नहीं होगा, पेरेंट्स को भी अपने को चेंज करना है, वो माहौल चेंज करना है, वो माइंडसेट चेंज करना है। ऑलराइट, तो सारे जो स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, हर कोई को चेंज करना है, एंड दैट इज वेयर यू नो अनटिल एंड अनलेस वी आर प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट। आपको पहले तो टीचर बच्चों को पढ़ाते थे, अब तो शायद आपको पेरेंट्स को भी पढ़ाना पड़ेगा। आपको पेरेंट्स को बोलना पड़ेगा कि हम ये काम दे रहे हैं, हम नहीं कर पा रहे, तो आप प्लीज अपने बच्चे तक ये कन्वे कीजिए। ऑलराइट, सो एज टीचर्स आई गेस हमारा रोल बढ़ गया है, हमारा काम बढ़ गया है। ठीक है, क्योंकि हम एक न्यू प्रोसेस की ओर देख रहे हैं। So basically it will be a combination, what I have told you just now, combination of both, but at the same time जितने भी stakeholders हैं सबको अपना mindset change करना है। That is what. Yes. Okay, I guess we can call father, and can somebody inform father that we are over with our session? And, who is the class representative?
Yes, madam.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, father, I can hear you. Yes,
You
father.
have finished your talk?
Yes, father, I have done with my talk.
Okay, okay. So this, we're supposed to give the vote of thanks. Hello?
Yes, Father.
Please propose a vote of thanks, and then I will thank her. Okay. Say.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am honored and lucky to have the opportunity to give a vote of thanks on this special day. Thank you, Mrs. Dr. Pompi Das Sengupta. We are very grateful you took the time out of your busy schedule to address our small group. It was very relevant to the current situation, and your presentation was really great, and I really liked the way you explained every topic on online education and changes in online education and solution. Your thoughts were really exactly what we needed to know. You give us a new sense of pride and knowledge in our career. It will definitely help us in our career and life too. I'm glad that I attended your speech. Please accept our thanks for a great presentation. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Dipti. Thank you, all of you. It was really wonderful talking to all of you and sharing my views, because we are from the same profession. The only difference is that I have been here for so many years and you are new to this profession. But whatever experience, whatever I thought is relevant at this time, I have tried to share with you all. Thank you so much.
So from the college side, I would like to express my gratitude to ma'am for her wonderful timing that she had given to you. Despite their own commitment in the university, she was able to, without any hesitation, she has agreed to deliver this talk to you. And she has gone through that subject so thoroughly, and she has made a research paper on this, so it would be easier for her to give the presentation. So there's no way to thank you other than thanking through the words, kind words to you. So thank you very much. Very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, all of you. Nice talking to you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
all the participants, you are supposed to give one-line feedback to Nisha today. Write one-line feedback on ma'am's talk to you so that I can send to her by this tonight or tomorrow morning. So you send it to Nisha, she will compile and send it to me, send that thing to me back. And also I have asked you, you had to write one-page report. Report means not exactly what she has presented, but what was her reflection and the reflection of reflections. You have to reflect on the reflection she has made, so that we will be able to see what has gone into you as you are receptive to the talk. So that all you might be writing one page on every talk. So on 6th, we have to come send that 4 pages on 4 people talk, 4 pages report with your own reflections and understanding and visualization of the future in that paper. Should send to Dr. Monica Buppal, that we will do the needful. Okay, so that is for now, and thank you very much for your participation, and wonderful to see you again. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Father.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.